Todd Young says discussing airstrikes on unsecure apps should not happen again, but he's not calling for any resignations. He talks to News 8 government reporter Garrett Bergquist in this week's episode of All Indiana Politics.
Young serves on the Senate Intelligence Committee. He received a classified briefing earlier this week after the Secretary of Defense and others discussed a planned airstrike on the Signal app and accidentally included the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic.
I had an opportunity to ask about this in an open hearing and also a closed hearing of the Intel Committee. Clearly, I mean, common sense dictates this was not something that we should encourage. This is not something that should be done again. And we need to ensure that we have parameters in place to prevent it from happening in future cases. So that's my focus right now. I'm glad President Trump has emphasized the importance of this and that we won't be having this happen again. I do trust his national security team, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz in particular. He offers strong counsel to the president, and I think he's well served by his counsel to focus on terrorists, to make sure that terrorists know they can't lay in wait for American shipping, which we depend on to sustain our way of life. This is a marked change from the previous administration, frankly, where we allowed many of these terrorists to plan attacks and to conduct attacks against U.S. interests and those of our allies.
Still, this chat included some pretty specific information about the timing of the airstrikes. Should Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth or National Security Advisor Mike Waltz resign?
You know, that in the end is why the president was elected. He's going to make these decisions, and I support that sort of delegation of labor here. I do think that the National Security Advisor in particular, someone with whom I've served for a fairly long period, is well versed in these issues, and his counsel to the president to finally fight back to restore deterrence in the Middle East and beyond is very much appreciated, especially coming off the Biden administration where they did not take this sort of kinetic action when necessary.
You can see much more of our conversation this week on All Indiana Politics. It airs at 9:30 Sunday morning right here on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.